What's up? Ignore my hair and ignore my 2-day-old makeup. I had sleepovers last night for New Year's because it's January 1st, 2026 at 7:32 p.m. and I had a sleepover at a friend's house and I didn't take off my makeup and then I came home and yeah. I'm gonna start making like a digital journal of sorts because I kind of like have become more sentimental over the years and I want to look back on my life in the past. So I'm gonna start doing daily videos just to get all the ranting out, just get all of the big emotions out and whatnot. So I'm just gonna show y'all a couple updates about me and life right now. So I busted into a watercolor set that I got for Christmas, which I really like. Already, oh, it is still wet and it just dripped on me. But yeah, I started my little swatch palette, but I did some watercoloring in my journal for the first time in a long time because I started journaling back in 2025. It's 2026 now. I started journaling and I used to journal a lot, like pages and pages, and I used to, like, if I had project ideas I would do it in here. I also watercolored in here a lot, so there's a lot of watercolor in here with my old watercolor palette, but I've kind of started new watercolor palette. I also used to do a lot of like collaging and stuff, and my first collage of 2026 was this one, which I got a little photo printer for Christmas. I got multiple photo printers, but I got this like little color one. It's a Kodak one. It's plugged in right now, so I can't lift it all the way up, but it looks like that, and it prints little photos. And I took pictures with my friends on my camera because I'm a photographer and I have a camera, but I like took my Canon lens off of it and I put on the little like $40 disposable lens that they were selling for like $20 that my mom got me for Christmas. And so they have this really like vintage type feel to them, and it's like just a lot of my close friends. Here we have as me, that's Sanaya. She's an IB friend. You know this because this will be me going back and viewing these in the future. She's in a couple of my classes. We've gotten really close over the last year. She's really fun, makes me laugh a lot, very like funny, very giggly, very not serious, but she's also obviously an IB kid, so she's really smart, and she is she's just a really nice person, really easy to talk to and really easy to like relate to and have conversation with. That's Jaden, that's the friend I stayed over at her house, and she's like honestly like super nice. I'm not that close with her, but she's so nice and she's such a genuine person and she's easy to talk to, and I feel like I'm really excited that I get to be her friend and get closer with her over the last couple months of my senior year. That's Claire. I knew her because I was friends with Pratyasha, who's friends with one of her best friends, and she is friends with a lot of people in IB. So she's a lot of the IB hangouts, and she's really nice and also really easy to talk to. I feel like I said about a lot of people because I can talk to basically anybody and get along with them, but genuinely these people are easy to talk to. They don't feel like I'm being judged. I don't feel like I'm being like put down at all, being told not to talk because I talk a lot, and so these are the people I feel safe talking around, so I'm really happy to have them. There's Madison, the only toxic mask lesbian allowed in my life, as she likes to put it, but she's absolutely fucking hilarious. Sends me heated rivalry edits every day. By the way, we are obsessed with heated rivalry at the moment. Peak show. I wonder where Hodgson, Williams, and Connor Story are going in the future because they're absolutely goated and stars of heated rivalry and everything. And then we have Serena, who I really haven't gotten close with. This is the first time like hanging out with her, and she's really nice. Once again, like she's really fun. She like was like easy to like get along. She's very friendly, and I feel like there's not a lot of friendly people in our generation anymore, so it's really fun that she was very friendly. And then we have Naomi, known her for a long time. She was one of the only people that warned me about my ex before I dated him, and she was right. But yeah, my goat right here, my goat. And she's really funny. She's very like, she's very chill, very down to earth, very relatable, and she's very unique as well. Like, I feel like there's not a lot of people in IB like her, and she's very easy to like talk to when a lot of other people in IB feel like a lot different type of friend than she is. And then that is Amaya, my other goat. She is so like, she's just really nice. I met her this year, started talking to her this year. Well, I actually took photos of her at an IB thing last year, and that's how I met her for the first time. But this year was when we actually started being friends. Once again, like another person that genuinely likes to listen to me talk and is genuinely interested in what I have to say, and it's very rare to find people like that, especially when you're a big yapper like I am. And then Macy, and I've been friends with her since my sophomore year. She's like one of my really close friends. Like, she can literally make me go about any stupid thing, and we both have really weird niche interests. So like when we make a niche reference, we know what the other one's talking about. And so yeah, and that's a big group. And then all the people are, other people are in these photos, well, the same people, but like different amounts of people. And this entire journal entry was mostly about the struggles that I've been having with New Year's and the feelings that it's kind of brought up for me, because I had a big issue with limerence, and that like imagining a certain person who you were in limerence with at one point, in scenarios that just aren't going to happen, unrealistic scenarios, because you're trying to deal with their absence in a way that makes sense, in a way that you rationalize it. And I am a person who, my brain is really, really overactive and makes these fake scenarios up really easily, and it tries to predict the unpredictability of the person that you're, because a lot of limerence connections are caused by unpredictability, so your brain responds to that unpredictability irrationally by trying to predict it, even if you can't. And so I feel like I struggled a lot with that with this, because I kept thinking about what possible situations New Year's could cause to arise with that person, even though I know that person's no longer in my life, and that I trust the universe to keep that person out of my life, because I know that I made the right decision kicking that person out of my life. And so a lot of this entry was about that. And about trusting myself to make the right decisions for me, and trusting my environment and the universe around me to support that decision, and to keep the good things in my life. And I feel like that mindset has been really, really hard for me to conquer with this person specifically, because of the nature of our relationship. But I'm so glad that I am in a new year where I never talked to that person before. I'm in a completely new era. I'm gonna be a year older than I was when I'm going to be 2 years older than I was when I met that person. I'm going to graduate high school without that person. I'm going to go to college without that person. And that person is no longer going to be a part of my life. And she's not going to come back to me in any way. And that is the peace of mind that I need to have going into this next year. But yeah, this entry was so fun. And then I had a lot of fun with the watercolor. I love watercolor. It's like, it's become a form of like peace, because I like doing fun artsy stuff and whatnot. I want to find a way to incorporate my old planner, because I love planners. I usually don't end up using them for an entire school year, and I'm not going to use this one for the entire school year, just because I bought this one at Target when I saw it, and this one's a year only, so it's all of 2026. So this one is 2025, 2026 for a school year, but I want to use this one because it's really pretty and aesthetic. But I want to find a way to use this in one of my journal entries, because in here I have, like, I use this one really, really thoroughly. Every single page is super filled out, super highlighted, super annotated, because I genuinely was so locked in my senior year. I've been so good at keeping on top of stuff, and I feel like it'd be really nice to have memories to go look back on and like see what assignments I was doing when and what time period, because I find a lot of meaning in little memories like that to be saved. So I'm really excited about finding a way to include this in my future plans. And then I'm also really, really excited about using this planner, because I've been so locked in on using planners. So I feel like buying myself a really nice planner that I really, really like, that fits my needs. It's the same size as this planner, it's just in a binder, so it looks a little bit bigger, but it's the same size, got the same number of lines. It's just really, really nice. It's very, very cute, so I'm very, very excited to actually use this. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And then I have a couple of New Year's resolutions written on my iPad that I wanted to share for what I plan to get done for this year, or plan to like live these kind of mindsets. And so basically what I have really started focusing on is trying to kind of grow up and mature. I feel like a lot of parts of me and my emotional standpoint is not mature, and I want to walk into college in a new environment surrounded by a bunch of new people, being a mature person and being somebody who is respected because of their maturity and because of their emotional intelligence and whatnot. And so I really want to become that like put together person. So one of the things I really want to work on is not talking as much, and I don't mean that in a like you need to shut the fuck up and not talk a lot type of way. I mean that truly in a like I need to stop giving away a lot of information. I let people know a lot of stuff about myself when I feel like I should be kind of more open in a lighter way. I feel like I talk a lot about the past and past events with people when I shouldn't be bringing up past events over and over and over again and rehashing them just to talk. Just talking to talk, I feel like, is an issue I struggle a lot with. And so one of my New Year's resolutions is going to be to stop talking so much, but not in a like a you need to shut up type of way. Once again, like my phone died, but it's okay because it saved the video. So I'm just gonna start where we left off. So that New Year's resolution is just gonna be to focus on saying stuff more intentionally and focusing on who I'm telling what information to, and also to not talk about other people's information. I feel like I also have a big issue with if somebody tells me something and I can't keep my mouth shut, or I can't keep secrets very well, and I want to be that person that people confide in, and I've worked really hard on being that person people can confide in. I feel like I haven't told a lot of people a lot of stuff, and I've resorted more to journaling now that I have the like resources for it. So I've kind of really started relying on journaling and writing about how I feel and writing about interactions I have, as opposed to going and voicing those opinions outside of my like close circle of people that I really can 100% trust. And so that's gonna be my first New Year's resolution. My second is going to be to never think about the person, or not even never think, but to redirect when I do think about the person I had limerence issues with. That person, like, I just need to keep them on my mind. And I'm talking about them right now, and I talked about them earlier, but this is kind of like my summary of like all of that and trying to push them out of my life for a final. So I'm really gonna focus on redirecting whenever I think about them. I'm also not gonna talk about them to other people. Like, once again, with the last New Year's resolution, kind of go hand in hand, where I don't want to rehash situations that happened in the past. I'm focusing on the next step forward only. The next step forward is the focus. I'm not going to go back in the past and worry about things that I don't really need to worry about. And so it's the next foot in front of the other for the rest of the year. That's the only mindset that I really am gonna have, is focusing on the new opportunities to come and bettering myself and who I am as a person. My third New Year's resolution is going to be being more grateful, because college has brought up a lot of complex feelings for me, or the idea of college, because I'm not in college yet, but I'm a high school senior. So that like fear of jumping in the next part of my life, and also I actually was crying about this earlier and talking myself through it, but the like fear that I have of losing my like home and the concept and stability of my home, because my parents are planning on selling this house when I move to go to college, because they don't need this big of a house anymore once I leave. I'm an only child. They only had the big house for me. And then also, if I go to school at the college where I really, really, really want to go, and I get in that college, I won't need my car. So they're planning on selling that. And although those seem like really materialistic things to think about, is like a car or a house being objects that I miss a lot, I feel like I'm less in the materialistic realm of things and more in the object permanence, and more of the like having significant memories attached to objects. And because of that, I get really emotionally connected to my objects, and it's really hard for me when I have to let go of things, the physical items, because of that. And so I think I'm really going to work on being more grateful for what I have and the things that I have, and cherishing them while I do have them, because if I'm going to take that next step into my life in college, I can't stop my parents from selling my house. They plan to do it. It's going to help them afford my college better, because they're going to move to a cheaper house. It is the realistic option. It is the best option for everybody, despite the fact that it's going to hurt me emotionally and it's going to disrupt a little bit of that stability that I'm already losing by moving across the country to go to college. But I know that it is the best path forward, and to try and resist that change and to try and ignore it is not going to help. To try and live through it is going to be the best option. So I'm working through that. And it's the same way with my car. I'm trying to rationalize that even though my car means a lot to me and it represents a time period in my life. Okay, Mom. And it represents a time period in my life where I was a lot more free and I had escaped the bad things in my life before. It's going to be okay if I lose that. And that jumping into college is the opportunity I've been waiting for, and losing things and making big sacrifices is a part of adulthood and a part of life. And this is a big conversation I've been having with my parents a lot, is that I'm going to have to come across these big decisions in life that I haven't really been exposed to before, because I grew up very privileged and I grew up with things handed to me a lot. Even like as a small child, when we lived in our smaller house with the roommate, my mom was still making considerable money. So I've always had that, like, I've never had to struggle the way my parents did, because my dad had to struggle as a kid, and my parents have explained that to me, that I haven't really had to struggle. Even when I was living in a 2-bedroom house with my parents and their roommate, that I really didn't have that much of a like struggle to go through, and that I get a lot of things given to me. And so I am going to work on being more grateful and just kind of cherishing the relationships, the people, the things around me for while I have them. And also, like, because I'm being more grateful and being more attentive to the things that I have, that I will be okay with those things leaving or changing or going away in my life, because I've cherished them for what they are while they exist in my life. And those are kind of the main things I really want to focus on for this year. Obviously, there's basic things like eating healthier, going to the gym, which I've kind of already tackled a lot. I lost a lot of weight recently, so I've had to focus on eating healthy to either gain that weight back or gain muscle in the place of that. And also going to the gym. Since I quit my sport of 9 years, I've had to like readjust into getting back into the gym. So those are just little basic things that I've kind of already started doing, and I can plan to continue doing them. And I have people who hold me accountable for those things in my life, and they are going to help keep me on track and keep me where I need to go. And then there's obviously the productivity and keeping my grades up and getting college apps done. And I've gotten almost all my college apps done except for 2, and I still plan to finish those before break is over, because it is January 1st, so winter break is not over yet for me. And so I plan to get those done by then and have everything submitted so I can get that off my plate. And then I am in the International Baccalaureate program, so I have a lot of big exams coming up and a lot of big projects coming up that are going to be due. And so I plan to be very, very productive and very, very intentional with the way I spend my time, so that way I can really study and focus on getting the grades that I want and showing that I can work hard and achieve something like my International Baccalaureate diploma. And then obviously I'm going to graduate, so I have to keep my grades up to do that. And yeah, I think that's kind of it for me as far as what's going on in my life right now and the complex feelings I've been feeling. I'm coming, Mom, hold on. And so yeah, that's the update for today. Bye, Saya. See you later when you watch this.